Good evening, and welcome to another episode of The Take here on the College Football Mafia Network. I'm joined by the three amigos of the Big Ten Mafia, Sergeant Pickles, Becky Go Huskies, the notorious BGH, as we're going to start calling her, and myself. We're going to talk tonight about a little situation we have going on in the Big Ten. I don't know if anybody's heard about it. But I think Becky and Pickles, you know the term snafu, and
Oh, yes.
I think this has turned into a snafu. And why don't you go ahead and explain to everybody what snafu stands for?
Situation normal, all effed up, and you can insert your expletive of choice, and it still works as an acronym. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, the Big Ten's public capital deal is on pause. It is on pause from UC Investments. It is on pause because Michigan continues to stir shit. It's on pause because USC has an ego. It's on pause. How did we get from almost everybody being on board to the situation we are in now? And where do we go from here? Because is this deal just done? I know it's paused, but it's been pretty clear from Mr. Jordan Acker, Board of Regents at the University of Michigan, that he's going to do everything within his power to stop this deal from going through.
I believe he said that too. I think he verbally said that to a reporter, basically saying he's never going to allow this to go through. I swear he said that. Just insane to me that he would sabotage all of this. And I mean, I get the whole what's the phrase? I get the whole hesitancy of it. You should be doing your due diligence. It's $2.4 billion or whatever. It's not a small chunk of change by any stretch. But he's calling it a payday loan, which would be 125% interest due pretty much immediately. I don't know where he gets that.
Well, he's a Michigan man. They make it up, That's
and I'll be a little blunt here. None of these schools would do that in a heartbeat because they would be illegal most likely in most of their states. There's no way.
He's stirring shit. I listened to his interview on Sirius XM this week.
I did too.
Just basically stirring as much shit as possible, saying that Michigan's going to go independent. Good luck with that, Michigan. You know you can't do it. But say it. I mean, by all means, say it. But what gets me is, one, you're right. It's not a payday loan. But it's an investment. Yes, they're getting X number of dollars up front, but it's actually creating an investment arm for the Big Ten to possibly make even more money beyond that initial investment.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you guys think as far here's my point of view, and then I'll let you guys go. Everybody thought the Big Ten were idiots when they created the Big Ten Network. That was going to fail. When the Big Ten went and got Maryland and Rutgers, that was terrible. That was going to be an absolute failure. They got Maryland and Rutgers as expansion candidates. Why would you go get Maryland and Rutgers, etc.? When Jim Delaney, when ESPN told him this is the deal, you take it or leave it, and if you don't take it, you're rolling the dice out there, and he said, let the dice be rolled. These people, every single time the Big Ten has done something like this, they've been criticized, ostracized, exercised, any sized you can think of. And yet somehow the Big Ten always comes out smelling like a rose. So why now do we have people within our own conference like Jordan Acker and Carol Folt trying to blow this up? We'll start with you, Pickles.
Yeah, I prefer my conferences to be jazzercised like Jane Fonda, but that's just me. Um, it's kind of a two-parter for me because I still have questions about what they're going to do with the money, although we obviously have more details about the structure of it. I don't there's only one team from my humble opinion in this conference that can overrule the other 17 and they don't wear maize and blue. Happen to be
Yeah.
right up there. Um, Yeah, and Ohio State is typically, although Ohio State throws their weight around, they typically are a team player in terms of being good for the conference. Ohio State could like legitimately just snatch all the money from the other schools and just hoard it all, and they'd have a legitimate reason to do so. But Michigan seems to be the one thinking they can play, king of the pile, and I can take what I want, and you have to give me exactly what I'm asking for, and I just don't understand it. USC, I think's main issue is what cut they're getting, and I don't know if possibly they think that the investment is a little bit too conservative because they're a private institution. They can move money around a little more freely than these public schools. So I'm curious if that even though they're both disagreeing, it's for two different reasons.
Very good. What do you think, Becky?
This comes down to one, a school doesn't like the deal, which fair. We knew not all of them would like the deal. Like that's just kind of how these things go. I guarantee there were some schools back when they created the Big Ten Network who were kind of like on edge and probably had to be talked off that, off a ledge essentially to join the rest of them. But we're not talking about stupid schools.
Right.
Maybe Oregon, but but no, I mean, like even Oregon's got a good business school. Like we're not talking about dumb schools. We're talking about schools with great business programs, great law schools. Schools who don't react. They don't just jump in because you say, hey, here's $5. We're talking about some of the wealthiest schools in America, some of the wealthiest schools on the planet. Like these schools are doing, like Northwestern, like I'm one of those people. I'm like, you lean on the nerds. If the nerds are kind of into it, like it's probably a good deal. And Northwestern typically makes great deals. Ohio State's made great deals in the past. Penn State, Wisconsin, like everybody's backing it, but one school, and then that one school went to another school, and then they're threatening to do things that are like, years away, and I'll say it out loud, the guy that's saying it all for Michigan might not even be there in a year.
Yeah.
And what's he going to do? Take your rights and leave? It took Notre Dame 2 years to get a deal done with NBC. You think because you're Michigan, you're going to get a deal done any quicker? No. Like they got to find the money. Like where are they going to find it? You're going to go at the same time that, again, when your media rights are up in 2036, who's are up at that point? The Big Ten, the SEC, the ACC, the Big 12. You're telling me you're going to find a deal.
Well, not only that, the other option being the Michigan will just go to the SEC.
That's 100% what would happen.
Here's the problem.
USC probably too.
Yeah, Michigan and USC are going to run into the same problem, regardless of where they go. The SEC is looking into private equity. They have Goldman Sachs on it, one of the top firms.
That's private equity.
That's private
closer.
Equity.
I'm going to flat out say it. That's closer to a payday loan than private capital.
And we know the Big 12 looked into it and couldn't get the votes for it because obviously expansion and conference realignment. But let's say hello to some people. I see a lot of people rolling in here giving us comments. So we will get to your comments. I promise, people. We'll say hello to some people first. Buckshot Kid, he was first. He says, oh, hey, Moen. Hey, Buckshot Kid. The Big Lubbock was also first because Big Lubbock is always first. Daniel Gygax is here. Good to see you, Daniel. Daniel released a short the other night. Definitely check it out about Texas bias. Kay Struthers says, yo, good to see you, Kay. Sean's in the house. He says, "What's up, guys? What's up, Sean?" Yo, CFM. That's from David Sabinosh. Woo. Okay. Oh, hey, Becky and Pickles from Buckshot Kid.
Howdy, howdy.
What is Lane Kiffin going to do? New soap opera as the lane turns. We might talk about that tonight. That's an interesting story in college football right now.
I mean, one of the big pieces came off the board with our old buddy James Franklin, so that
Yeah.
kind of that hastens some of these other school searches.
Nebraska Steve, Michigan and USC have thwarted the big enterprise UC investment equity fund deal. So now USC can join a private equity funded super league with Notre Dame, Ohio State, Penn State, Florida State, Clemson, Miami, Bama, Florida, Georgia, Texas, Oklahoma, LSU, and Washington. Or Wisconsin. I don't know which one that is.
It's probably Washington.
I mean, that's quite an interesting collection of schools you have there,
Yes,
but sure.
That's never going to work. I can tell you, Nebraska Steve, Michigan would never lower themselves to be in a conference with some of these teams.
Specifically Notre Dame.
That too. Michigan's opinion of Michigan is higher than giraffe balls. It really is. And if you don't believe me, ask any Michigan man. Some of these schools, and it's nothing against Florida State or Clemson, but their academics aren't on the same standards as what the University of Michigan generally likes. But it wouldn't shock me for them to be Michigan men against a public investment for a private equity.
I don't mean to be that person, Mom, but Florida State's academics aren't on the level of Florida. Their own state.
Yeah.
It's a land grant school.
Yeah, because I think we do. I mean, here's the old Pac-12 guy screaming about academics, but we have to realize these partnerships are for everything in these schools to work together. It's not like sports is just some separate entity.
Yeah, I tried to explain this to people in the past. The reason why people want Stanford in their conference, why nobody would say no to Stanford for the most part, is because Stanford's graduates have to go somewhere to get their PhDs and master's degrees. The conferences make it easier to transfer in between schools. They follow the same academic standards.
Interesting question then. If Stanford joined, would Stanford be tier 1 on the public equity system?
Maybe. Probably not, but maybe.
Probably not.
Tier 2 for sure.
But, Stanford's one of the few ones that would be like, I'll take the private equity because we could just pay it back.
Yeah.
They could just buy out whatever firm is offering the private equity.
Buy the firm. Yeah. Stanford Enterprises.
Larry the GM's here. I thought the point of these capital infusion deals was for conferences to partner with groups, either connections to help massively grow revenue by things like international expansion. UC doesn't. Absolutely does. That is part of it. Problem is, you've got a school like Michigan who said no and then went and told another school stuff to make that school say no.
And let me be clear what Big Ten Enterprises does, because that's what the money is, to create Big Ten Enterprises. Big Ten Enterprises would handle the business side of the schools. So the schools still deal with scheduling. They still deal with scholarships. They still deal with all of those little rules, etc. This would handle sponsorships, media money, media negotiations, getting things out there, like the commercials that you see for a school during a game. Big Ten Enterprises would handle all of that. So they would be making money from those kinds of things, while the schools can focus in on the athletic side of stuff once again.
Larry had similar questions that I think I did about why this, strange, obscure pension fund, and as far as I understood it and kind of reading up on it, this has to do with, obviously, all the schools are in different states that have their own laws about how public institutions can invest money. That massively restricts where it can go. It can't go into these like high, super crazy return like private equity firms that are gonna, shop your conference overseas and all over the world like any other sports product. These are public institutions. This is taxpayer money, and so it has a lot of rules that go with it.
Because like in our conference, you have Rutgers, who's in New Jersey clearly, and they've had a nefarious past with, with certain people. So there's some laws and things in the books in a state like New Jersey where they have to verify everything. You know what I mean? Like, has to be legit. But this is a retirement, like it's retirement money for professors, I believe, in California, public people, public like servants.
Yeah, it's all public employees.
Yeah, it's all public employees.
For the UC system, you're
this
from a professor to a janitor.
Yeah, this is a massive investment from people's futures.
Yes.
And they do a good job, by the way. They do a good job. Like the person that's in charge of it, he's everything I've read, they like him.
He's very good. Yeah. He's very good at his job.
So, like like I said, it has its drawbacks, but like you're gonna make money based on like they're basically turning the conference into an actual business. It's the best way to describe this.
They're turning the athletic portion of the conference into the business. But I will clarify one thing. From what I understand, yes, they will be going out and getting sponsorships, but schools will still have sovereignty, like naming rights for stadiums, fields. But this is like, think
like NFL. Think like NFL.
Right. This is going to be the official sponsor of Big Ten athletics. This is going to be going and getting naming rights for the Big Ten championship game. This is going to be going and getting naming rights for
women's golf tournament.
Yeah, or the offensive trophy, the trophy winners for the conference for the year. It'll be the All-State, All-Star offensive MVP trophy presented by All-State.
Every school has their sovereignty over their sponsorships, but when you're sitting in the stadium and you see like at an NFL game, some of the sponsors that come up are not for the team, they're for the NFL.
Right.
Same thing. They put like a display up somewhere inside the stadium. All the stadiums have the same thing. I think people have seen it, the Venmo rivalry logo on top of the Big Ten logo. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but it says Venmo rivalry something or other right across the Big Ten logo. That's what they would handle. Little things like that. So it's a lot of money. Like it's basically taking that away from athletic directors and school presidents and handing it over to someone who's like, say, Roger Goodell kind of thing. Like business people who this is what they do for a living. They just get money and then they funnel it to everybody. So it becomes equally across the board as much as possible. Which, by the way, in the NFL, the Jaguars don't get as much as the Cowboys in certain instances. It's 100% like fair revenue share, but certain things the Cowboys still get more than like,
merchandising,
which they would also take over the sales of.
Yes. The Big Ten's the richest conference. I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. Other conferences are doing fine with a lot less. I don't really necessarily believe it's about that upfront money. To me, reading the deal, it's about future proofing. It's about saying, hey, we're going to be a conference until 2046 with at least these 18 teams, and we're going to invest in ourselves and hopefully provide our member institutions with a nice revenue stream that they don't really have to worry about. Is that how you feel about it, Pickles, or do you view it in a different light?
I don't know. This whole thing to me is kind of been a keeping up with the Joneses, and I think they're waiting for that counterpunch from the SEC. And the Big Ten, if anything, has been a proactive conference in terms of trying to get deals and adding teams, like the West Coast teams also. I don't know. It's like it's an arms race that no conference actually wants to win because it means the implosion of the rest of them, which is what happened to the Pac-12. So Does the Big Ten need the money? No, they don't. But ultimately, that portion of it and sports is kind of treated like a business because it funds the rest of these institutions, especially their other sports programs.
Well, I mean, let's talk about it. Name a school that's in the black.
There aren't any in the Big Ten.
There are none.
They could be if they wanted. They know they can get away with spending the money. So
no, there's literally not. Even Oregon is we have Uncle Phil. They were $24 million in the red one year, in 2024, because we haven't seen 2025 yet. But 2024, they were 24 million in the red, and they have a huge donor. So it's not impossible for schools to sit back and go, if we can cover the red and get into the black and keep this on the business side while this is on our nonprofit side, yeah, they have to pay taxes, but it makes more money. And all of a sudden now you have schools like Rutgers who can compete with Alabama's. You create parity. That's why the NFL works. And why we see, teams can go from last place to first place in the NFL. You don't see that very often in baseball. You saw it in the NBA. You see it in the NHL, but you don't see it in baseball because they don't share as much of the money. It'll create those gaps. It'll close the gaps, is what I'm saying.
Got a $10 super chat, and we got the perfect people here to answer this. From Ricky Tungate, our friend from Indiana. Indiana roaring on, looking forward to it. Hope Ohio State wins out, and it's Ohio State, Indiana in the Big Ten championship game. That'll be a doozy.
That'd be wild.
That'll be a doozy.
Yeah.
He wants to know, why is Oregon listed with USC but Washington isn't? It's like a $40 million difference. Just curious.
I can tell you. I can tell you. Two schools. It was tiered, guys. There's 3 tiers. To make it 3 tiers, 2 schools volunteered to drop down to the 3rd tier. Washington and Wisconsin are the 2 schools that said, we're good without the money. We'll be fine short term. Now, they did it for a power play because they didn't do it for free. Washington wants something. Wisconsin wants something. They voluntarily did it. It created more money, and they were hoping, the hopeful thought was, there might have been another school that dropped down or whatnot, but the hope was it would bridge that gap for USC to be okay. One school, Oregon, did not want to drop. So they needed the 3rd tier. And Oregon was like, nope.
Well, that was the only, that's one explanation, I suppose, is if they're doing some behind the scenes horse trading to kind of make this all work. It was weird to me that there are 3 tiers, and isn't this me saying, oh, Washington should be higher than so-and-so, but it's if you look at the revenues per school, there should be way more than 3 tiers, but that's neither here nor there. It's the fact that it's Michigan and USC complaining in their tier placement is kind of goofy to me.
Well, to be clear, Michigan's not complaining in their tier placement. Michigan's at the top. Right. Michigan's just complaining.
Yeah.
They don't want the deal, period. Or Jordan
Michigan doesn't want to pay the money back, is what it is. They just want the money, but not the payment plan.
Yeah. Jordan Acker doesn't want it. But I think the reason, Pickles, that it's 3 tiers, and you brought up a great point and a great question. I think the Big Ten doesn't necessarily want unequal revenue share. So they're trying to make it as fair as they possibly can. And they're looking at it and going, yes, Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, bring the most athletic dollars. Yes, followed by USC and Oregon. Now, Washington and Wisconsin, they could have been up there. If Becky's correct, which I have no reason to doubt her, they dropped down, and I have a good feeling I know why they dropped down.
I must be out of the loop because I don't know this one.
I believe they probably dropped down to get realignment favor for a realignment candidate, probably Stanford. But that's just speculation on my part. I don't have any.
I don't know. I don't know the reason for the drop. I just know that they were willing to work with everybody to kind of make the money work, because at one point it was 2 tiers. So what was proposed was 2 tiers. The top tier got $200 million. The bottom tier got 100.
Yeah, that's too big a gap.
That's huge
Yeah, that's
gap.
huge
That's
gap.
way
Yeah,
too big.
the gap from
That's
one to
one proposal.
from 1 to 3 now is like it's like 30 or 40% total,
Yeah.
but it's
And,
a big amount, like
and
Ricky Tungate's saying
yeah.
here, but it's not like double or something
40
crazy.
million's not that big of a deal. Like,
Yeah.
I can say it out loud. Washington's athletic revenue is greater than Oregon's. They spend more, they make more, they just spend a lot more is the issue.
Yeah,
Right.
it's just about balancing your budget.
For some of these schools, it's just like it's free money. And in like Washington's case, they're like, it's kind of free money because there's been some talk that they might wipe out the stadium debt with, because it's technically through the school and the school can just pay it, like whatever, don't have to pay it back. There's a little talk of that like, but they could take this money and stop having to borrow from future revenue. That would stop all that. Yeah, that would stop all of that. So it's like short-term and long-term gains will just drop down.
And keep in mind this is a $40 million difference, but all three tiers are within a percentage point of each other.
Yeah.
It's like 5.6, 4.6, 3.9. It's not like, yes, when you say it 40 million, yeah, I think we can all agree $40 million is a lot of money. We can agree. That's 100% accurate. But in the grand scheme of things, when you're talking $2.4 billion, 40 million is a little bit of a drop in the bucket.
Yeah. And I mean, like, it to the schools, because they don't have to technically pay it back, Big Ten Enterprises pays it back. Schools aren't paying for it. Big Ten Enterprises pays for it. So, like, unless Big Ten Enterprises absolutely failed, schools would not be on the hook. And that's part of the problem that USC and Michigan are having is if it failed, who pays for it? But, like, it is what it is. It's capital. It's investment. You run the risk all the time. But I mean, there was one school, and I'll say this: a few other schools have piped up, guys. It's not just now Michigan and USC.
Right.
There were reports, and we know the reports. Like 3 or 4 other schools did say something. Minnesota finally piped up. From what I heard, Minnesota said something finally. It was like, no. Like Rutgers said something. Like schools are saying things, but like it's not really a daily discussion anymore, but it was a constant discussion that the ADs were having. And it was fluid. Nothing was set in stone. So like every time you hear this report, it was just like one school's idea. Like, we'll do this. One school's idea. We could do this. I have heard there's about 6 different ways of solving this. But none of them can agree on any one individual way. So
the closest we came, we had 17 on board.
Yep.
Michigan was against it. Michigan got in USC's ear. Suddenly there were 16 on board. USC said, we're going to do our own thing, tried to flip it and make it. We'll talk about this on a Moan Confidential. I promise.
Yeah, Moan, there's some information that Moan and I have learned. He's gonna
that I will share with members on Moan Confidential. I don't know if I'm going to get the video out tomorrow or not, but we'll get the video out here in the coming days. But there's some information out there about this. But thank you for the super chat, Ricky. Do appreciate it, sir. Good luck to your Indiana Hoosiers. I do hope you win out, although I don't think it'll be very hard when you got Purdue on the schedule. Poor Purdue.
Sorry, Purdue.
Sorry, Purdue. You're going into a buzzsaw in that rivalry game. But, yeah, thank you, Ricky. Let me play you a little Indiana song. Iowa, Indiana. How does the UC investment help the big grow markets and revenue? I thought that was the point of these deals. The UC investment is helping to fund the creation of Big Ten enterprises. It's actually Big Ten enterprises that'll grow markets and revenue. But instead of having the schools all pony up $2.4 billion to do it themselves, they are helping to fund the finance. They're financing it. They're fine. It's similar to the way the Big Ten Network was set up. Fox helped finance it,
Yeah.
and the schools helped finance it. So it's taking a partner on. What happens if the deal goes south? The people that made the deal are going to be long gone for the blame. Ask the ACC. This is not an extension of media rights, though, Sean.
No.
The ACC, the issue with the ACC is they signed a 20-year media right. This is just the Big Ten signing a 20-year grant of rights, saying we're going to be members of a conference for at least till 2046, which shouldn't be hard to accomplish when most of us have been members of the conference for close to 100 years.
Speak for yourself.
I understand there's new people. I understand there's newbies, but I'm just saying it's not like Michigan does not go anywhere else. It doesn't fit anywhere else, and it doesn't fit independence.
They're gonna go. They're gonna go to the Ivy League.
Yeah.
FCS.
Maybe Michigan can save the ACC, but then Notre Dame's there, so.
The threat of USC independence, go for it, guys. Might have killed the big Enterprises UC Investments Fund deal, but they may have kept our dreams of Project Rudy alive. Didn't keep the dreams for most of the Big Ten. 16 Big Ten teams still want to be in a conference together. So we may not always agree on how we're going to get there, but we agree on that.
And I mean, like, it does need to be said that some of the schools have been basically like, all right, whatever.
And it should be said that a lot of the schools, especially Ohio State, has made more concessions and compromises on this situation than anybody else.
And I'm like, we're new to the conference, so for like us, it feels very odd to hear one of the newbies with us trying to throw weight around, and it's like,
yeah,
like you're barking up a tree that like Michigan State and Minnesota should be barking up. Like, we're not, we're new. Like, that's why I'm like, for me, I'm like, we're kind of new here. We'll analyze it on our own and make our own decision, which clearly the school has. But like, USC is just doing the crap that they did while they were in the Pac-12.
Yeah, I think they're going to find out that shit doesn't fly.
It's not.
In Columbus. My good friend Rock and Rant, partner on Mowing After Dark on Sunday nights. I'll be doing a guest spot over there tomorrow on CFB Express, talking about who the true wide receiver U is. I think you know. It's the one with the block O. But we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about other things, Ohio State, so definitely check us out over there tomorrow. Thank you, Rock and Randy. He says, smash the like button. Y'all have a good show, crew. Love the Big Ten Mafia crew. Always fun on a Wednesday night to have the Big Ten Mafia crew here doing the take. Wouldn't Goldman Sachs be exactly the expertise you would want to partner with to massively grow revenues? They would, but I think you'll be making a deal with the devil.
Goldman Sachs. That's not
I don't know.
the money. Literally.
I don't know. Are you partnering with Goldman Sachs right now or in 2007? Because it could go both ways. That's how a stock market works.
Like, Goldman Sachs is basically a glorified bank at this point.
It's
like, I have
the Big Ten deal.
Goldman Sachs. It's,
Yeah, the Big Ten deal, for all of its, like, it seems kind of hokey, it is a relatively low-risk proposition that if it totally collapses and fails or some weird financial thing happens, the Big Ten can walk away from it and be just fine. It's not going to make or break anything to do with the media rights or the conference. It's just if you're looking for a home run shot in your private equity, then go for it in the SEC. I think it's something the Big 12 is probably more investigating, that they need that home run cash flow to kind of bump themselves up to something comparable to the Big 10 in the SEC.
And I mean, let's say the SEC does go with Goldman Sachs. Do you honestly believe Goldman Sachs is going to tell them you can't extend your grant of rights? The reason why you don't want to keep it all together is because it's all tied. This is why UC put the pause on it, was because the evaluation is for all 18 schools. Goldman Sachs would be valuing all 16 in the SEC. They're going to want to ensure that their investment's solid.
They're going to want to ensure that the SEC exists.
Yeah.
They don't want a super league. They want the SEC as a 16-team conference for 20 years, which is exactly what the UC pension fund wants as well.
Like, they don't want to see this in court. They don't want to pay billable hours more than they already have to. Like, come on.
Right. And as far as I know, Goldman Sachs is just advising. I don't know that Goldman Sachs is going to be the actual private equity company.
Yeah. They're probably working with the private equity companies.
They're probably right. They'll probably get some kind of cut.
I can't wait till the SEC championship comes to you from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. That'll be a fun time.
Yeah, that'll go over well. And they're like, "What are we going to fly all the way to Riyadh?" Well,
that'll go well for some of the fans over there when they get to Riyadh.
It's Riyadh
season. Yeah. Actually, if Michigan and USC went independent and make a deal with Notre Dame, all playing each other would be worth more than they are getting paid in the Big Ten now.
They're not all going to play each other.
They're not going to play each other. Netflix would pay dearly for those. Well, Netflix can wait 10 years because Michigan and USC can't go anywhere until 2036. And we're not the ACC. So if they want to sue us, good luck. We've got some very good lawyers on our side. Tony Washington says, besmirch the Badgers. I think Becky and Pickles would gladly do that.
I mean, I'd like to. They'd probably install a new offense before I could.
They won fair and square. I can't kick them this year. We're gracious in defeat, unlike our, Pacific Northwest counterparts.
I'm fine with it. You either learn to live with the embarrassment or you move on.
Yeah.
Every time we get embarrassed within 3 years, we're playing for something.
Yeah, we've lived through 0 and 12. You can't possibly kick us any harder. There's no way.
I saw my quarterback throw a ball in the air and get a penalty just so our kicker could miss it.
Yeah. Good times.
It happens. Good times.
Assets double in value every decade. A $400K house will cost $800K in 10 years. New cars double in price every 10 years. This big deal could be worth $4.8 billion in 10 years. 10K today spends as $5K in 10 years.
Yeah, that's why UC Investments wanted to do it. They were ready to make more money for the people who could retire.
2 Huskies, look out. 1 more week until rivalry week. Oregon. I wouldn't be looking ahead.
Just hate. You call it hate week.
You call it hate. You guys can call it hate week all you want. I'm rooting like hell for Oregon to beat the shit out of USC. Oregon, go drop 100 on them.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna hate watch.
I mean, that's ultimately good. It's a no-lose proposition for Husky fans because USC losing is funny and Oregon losing is funny.
I think it would be better if they won and then we turn around and beat them next week.
Yeah. The selfish, double standard cheering is always fun.
I'm going to Las Vegas this weekend. I heard there's a big race on Saturday, so my friends and I bought tickets yesterday to go to Vegas. But I may be placing a bet or two on this game.
I'm telling you what, I might wear the Ducks hat on Friday night's show. I might do it. I might wear the Oregon Duck hat.
I will definitely tune out.
To me, it's not just about Oregon winning. I want to embarrass USC.
No, I get it.
Would Michigan and USC take a reduced payout to join the Big 12? No, probably not. Probably not.
Reduced.
We should ask, would the Big 12 take a reduced payout to join USC and Michigan?
That'd be the truth. You'd have to spend a lot of your money to get them.
Yeah.
Remember the Teamsters Retirement Fund built Las Vegas? That is absolutely true.
That is absolutely true.
And it did wonders for that retirement fund. The Teamsters Retirement Fund was solid for a very, very long time based off of that. Was there other elements involved as well? Who's to say? I choose to believe there's no such thing as the mafia.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm sure Jimmy Hoffa's actually buried under the stratosphere.
A lot of things buried underneath that.
So if Michigan wants everyone to receive the same share, what is the issue with agreeing to that request? Michigan doesn't want that, though, Nitwit.
That's not what they want.
They don't want to be equal.
Yeah. They want, and to be fair, they want to be fair, it's set up for Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan to make the most money. Michigan went and pissed in USC's ear about it.
Michigan's been reading, that classic book Animal Farm. We're all equal, but some are more equal than others.
That's right. Absolutely. Nebraska athletics was profitable last year with a $7 million surplus. That's very good.
That explains how you're able to put volleyball games in monster stadiums. That definitely would help. Yeah, in a lot of these schools' defense, you got to look at whether or not they've got like stadium debt, because that's a big part of a lot of these ones.
And some of them have coaching debt. Although Nitwit, I'm sure Nitwit is ecstatic that James Franklin has signed with Virginia Tech.
$9 million. By the way, we need to talk. He reduced his buyout by $40 million to $9 million. That's
the man
pretty
wants
wild.
To coach. The man wants to coach.
He didn't shy away and take a cheapo job. That's
also, I'll say this. After all the stuff that he went through at the end there, Penn State still shows you how much he respected Penn State to go, you know what? I'll take. I don't need the money. I'll take this much. I want to go coach and I'll make my money then.
All right. Well, we talked.
Kelly would not have done that at LSU, and he's not going to. So
we've talked enough about the public capital deal. We can talk about some of the coaching changes. Let's start off. We're already talking about it. James Franklin to Virginia Tech. What do you guys think of the hire? I think that's a home run hire for Virginia Tech. They got their guy. They were aggressive. He said the first time he met them, they would offer him the job right. He thought they were going to offer him the job right then and there. He's a good coach. It's a tough place to play in the Big Ten, especially when we had the old East Division, where you got to play Ohio State and Michigan every single year.
And I mean, he got a lot of the blame for Penn State not getting over the hump. They were one pass from getting over the hump. And it's like, he's not the quarterback. He doesn't call the plays. So if anything, maybe he learned a little something, but like, this is a great hire. Like, I'm telling you now, he won at Vanderbilt, people. He won at Vanderbilt. Do you know how hard that is? Like, they've had two coaches now in like 50 years who've won. The current coach and James Franklin. That's it. He is going to rebuild. I think he's going to have Virginia Tech in a spot they haven't been since they left the old Big East.
Yeah, it's got to be scary for other ACC schools. What do you think, Pickles? James Franklin at Virginia Tech in Blacksburg.
A plus hire for the Hokies. Regionally, obviously super familiar. He's access to all of his normal recruiting areas. It's not like he could easily flip some guys from Penn State. I know he's an extremely well liked coach. By all the guys he recruits. I don't think it's really like a bad marriage or a bad divorce from Penn State. Like, he got, a decade and a half to try and figure it out there, and he's in a tough conference. It is the way it is. Virginia Tech has extreme potential. Those fans show up. They're extremely passionate. He's going to need the resources to compete, but I think the ACC going forward is wide open. Like, you have Miami, Florida State, Clemson, but look at Clemson and Florida State this year. They're down and the conference is legitimately wide open. So I think it'll be interesting to see if he can win 6, 7, 8 games, get to a bowl game next year. That'd be a big accomplishment for him. But it's A+ higher, I think.
Yeah, I think you make a great point, Pickles. The ACC's wide open. You got Brent Key is probably going to stay at Georgia Tech. Bill Belichick, we still have to figure out if that's going to work at North Carolina. But
the two guys,
Manny Diaz at Duke. I mean, he had Duke in the race.
I mean, you've got Virginia's coming around. I don't think Virginia's going to
Tony Elliott.
He's the old offensive coordinator at Clemson, right? He was one of the coordinators at Clemson before he joined Virginia. They're coming around. Georgia Tech's coming around. Georgia Tech's coach has been the target of a number of openings.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll last because this is going to be the last. Like Haynes King, his quarterback, I'm pretty sure is going to the draft this year. I don't know what they would look like after he's gone.
That's not even the big deal. Like you want the 1 year where you're like in it, and then you do a minor rebuild, get back to it. Like none of that's going to matter unless the only schools where you can't do that are Ohio State, Michigan, Alabama, the Blue Bloods. But like James Franklin at Penn State, he's there a decade, couldn't win the big games for the most part. He did win one Big Ten title. He won a Fiesta Bowl. He's won some big games.
He won a Rose Bowl.
Yeah, and he won a Rose Bowl. Like he won the games that he could, but there came a time where it's like you can't lose to UCLA. Not like a UCLA team, by the way, at that time, who just fired their coach. Like you couldn't lose that game. Like it was embarrassing. The way they lost the game was more, I think, anything else, because it was like 42-7 before they finally were like, oh crap, we got to score. Like, I love this hire. I think Virginia Tech is going to be like Pickles said. I think the first step is try to make a bowl game. But in like 2 years, 3 years, this is a Virginia Tech team. The way he recruits, if they have the money that they need, like NIL backing, he could flip this next year.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
absolutely.
going to have dude. I guarantee you, dudes from Penn State are going to transfer to Virginia Tech if the money's right. This could be a quick flip. He might win 9 or 10 games next year.
And Pickles is right. This is his backyard. He recruited Virginia. He recruits New Jersey. He recruits Pennsylvania, Ohio, Kentucky. This is exactly where James Franklin recruits. He didn't go far. A lot of us, I was thinking UCLA maybe, go out LA, get that West. He said no.
I thought he'd end up at like Florida or LSU, somebody who like he'd have more talent and he wouldn't have to. There's enough talent within 20 minutes of Gainesville that you could win a national title. So I assume maybe he'd be able to go down there because the guy can recruit.
Well, he might be able to. He can still recruit in Florida.
Oh no, he's going to tear up Virginia. That 757 is about the Tidewater area is full of talent, and if he can like lock that down, sky's the limit.
You're right, and we don't know what's happening with Florida State and Clemson. If that's a trend, the ACC could be a very easily winnable conference next year.
He brings in the right guys from like elsewhere. Like I said, I think he could win 9 or 10 games. Like he just has to have the right talent come in to fill the holes. He was out there today meeting the grounds crew.
Truthfully, I think the parity just hit the ACC a little sooner than other conferences in terms of NIL. I don't think. I think we'll see more of it, in the Big Ten and SEC. Like you're still going to have your Alabamas, Ohio States, etc., that are going to spend crazy money over the top. But like, look at Missouri's having a good season. Indiana is the biggest example. 2 back-to-back incredible seasons already. So parity is going to become a more normalized thing than it has in previous years. James Franklin can totally take advantage of that. I was curious because I was like, where he's from. He is a Pennsylvania guy, but he coached one season at James Madison, so he's coached it in the state of Virginia before. He coached at Vanderbilt. Like that whole Appalachia East Coast region is his bread and butter for recruiting and collecting talent.
I'm like, if you're a Virginia fan and a West Virginia fan,
that's gonna be tough.
Like even a Tennessee fan, like. Because Tennessee's in Knoxville, it's as close as you can get to there. Like Kentucky, those schools, like Marshall, even like he's going to target your number one guys, and like I said, he's a good enough recruiter if he has the backing. Like we talk about Indiana being flipped so quick. Indiana went all in NIL, like all in. That's like a $40 million roster, and people haven't talked about that. But like. If he just has the full backing, which I think he does, This is going to be a very quick rebuild.
Yeah, he clearly has the backing, or he wouldn't have.
I would be concerned if I was a West Virginia fan, because
Yeah.
you literally rely on the state of Virginia, and he's like, Virginia Tech's been missing on those kids, and he may not miss on them now.
Now let's talk about two coaches who we didn't expect to return. Both Luke Fickell and Mike Locksley received letters of support from their athletic directors, and their athletic directors have promised increased financial support for the football programs. Maryland and Wisconsin have lost some of the most games against Power 4 opponents over the last 3 years. How is it just because it's a weak coaching carousel now, or too crazy of a coaching carousel now? Or do these guys really think that they can? Mike Locksley's going to pull it together at Maryland, and Luke Fickell's going to put a winning product on the field at Madison.
Yes. The coaching carousel in terms of guys that would take either of those jobs is pretty weak, because they're not going to compete with like a Florida or LSU in terms of just throwing money at guys. I don't see, like, it feels like in previous years there was always one or two like G5 candidates that was like itching for a major power job, and I just don't think that's the case this year. That the G5's been a little topsy-turvy. You don't just have that undefeated team sprinting toward the college football playoff. I don't know, and I don't know that they'd want to go for G5 level experience, because that kind of signals to your fan base, okay, this is a multi-year rebuild process of accruing talent and, you know, starting over. And I don't think, especially Wisconsin fans, I don't think are wanting to sit through that. Fickell to me is like, we have to stick with this guy because of the money. Like, he beat the Huskies, like, fair credit to him, but the season's still going extremely poor, and the trajectory is not good for him. Mike Locksley, I swear there's either two things. Either, like, he has pictures of the AD with someone that he shouldn't be with, or the athletic director only watches his games from September, because he looks awesome in the month of September and then terrible the rest of the year. So I don't totally get it. I think it is a combination of lack of available replacements and possibly some financial constraints in terms of buyouts and firing people.
I'll tell you what it is. Locksley has a top 25 recruiting class coming in. He's got a 5-star D end.
He's had talent before, though. Look at his quarterback this year. He's insanely talented.
He's a true freshman, too.
Yeah.
Pickles, the talent's there. He needs the mental block is what they have. The moment they win a game in October, on like the first weekend of October, it'll change. It's a mental thing at this point. Like, they know it, the players know it, but he's bringing in recruits who can play at this level. He can play with the Ohio States. He can play with the Penn States. Like, it's not an easy task. But he has the backing. He's a great recruiter. And I mean, like, they sold out their stadium finally this year. Like fans were excited for this. They'll get there. Like I said, they'll get there. It's all mental. It's all mental. It'll happen.
Listen, that's a rich recruiting ground.
Yes.
The DC, there's, so much talent right there that you can grab them. But Pickles, I will disagree with you on one thing about the G5 coaches. Got to remember, Kurt Signetti was a G5 coach.
Very
Came
true.
to Indiana, flipped it in 1 year. The guy from James Madison, the coach at James Madison.
DeBoer was a G5 coach.
Yeah.
Okay.
The kid from James Madison, Summerall at Tulane, I think he may end up at Auburn.
He's going to have an Auburn or LSU. Apparently, he canceled his Florida thing that he was supposed to do today.
Yeah, well, speaking of which, Florida and LSU and Ole Miss, the love triangle, none of us knew we wanted or needed. It's the new reality show. Somebody mentioned it as the Lane Turns. Lane Kiffin's family has went out and visited Gainesville and then went and visited Baton Rouge. And Ole Miss has apparently given Lane Kiffin, if the rumor's true.
According to Lane, this isn't true, but like I don't believe Lane. I really don't believe Lane.
That he has till the Egg Bowl, which is not this week. It's the following
Thursday,
week.
or is that Thursday or Friday next week?
I believe it's Black Friday game.
Okay, I was like, it used to be a traditional Thursday game, but I think
It might be. It might be still. Listen.
I have no idea. I don't pay attention to those two schools.
I really don't watch the Egg Bowl. The only thing I can remember of the Egg Bowl is Elijah Moore peeing on the goalpost. So that's the only thing I can really remember of the Egg Bowl. But apparently, Ole Miss, according to rumors, has given him till the Egg Bowl to give them some kind of decision that they may move forward without him coaching in the playoffs.
I think that's an important thing. Like, my favorite part was one of the players liked it. Like, one of the players liked something and somebody screenshot it, and it's like about Kiffin and what he's doing. And it's like, dude, just take the damn job and let these players have their shot. You are 9-1, 10-1, or whatever it is right now. Like, you're on the cusp of a playoff and you're out here flirting with jobs. Not just flirting with jobs, you have your family physically on an airplane going to the jobs. Yeah. You're not, because you have to coach the team, but your wife and kids or girlfriend or whatever is out there, on a private airplane getting a tour of Baton Rouge and Gainesville. Like, the disrespect to the players just is like burning. Like it's got me annoyed. Like, as a former athlete, like if that doesn't piss you off, like, he had to have a goddamn meeting to talk about the situation a week ago. Like, just take a job, dude. Just take the job so the players can move on without you.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know that he is telling the players at Ole Miss, I would never do this. I would never do that. I would never leave. Lane Kiffin told the kids at Tennessee the same thing, guys.
Yeah.
It's not like Lane has not been in this position before. But it's interesting. But I mean, hey, the Egg Bowl is a rivalry game. Absolutely. If they're that distracted by it, could lose that game, could end up costing them a playoff spot, allow the Big 12 to become a 2-bid league.
Let's be blunt. The committee has shown if you freaking lose, you fall. Yeah. It does not matter who you lose to or how much you lose, you fall. Like, Texas lost by like 25 or whatever, fell 7 spots. Alabama lost by like 1 or 2 points and fell 6. The committee is speaking now. Like, they lose this game, and Mississippi State has 1 SEC win in like 3 years. 0 chance. Like,
the thing is, though, too, Lane Kiffin has done a remarkable job rehabbing his personality, his character at Ole Miss over the last few years. It's like it seemed like, he finally found his spot. Yeah. He found his place. This is where he belongs.
And there's no pressure at Ole Miss for the most part. Like,
right. But now he starts up this shit with LSU and Florida, and it's like, geez, Lane, we thought you had changed, and it turns out you were just a really good bullshit artist.
I mean, do you want to go take a job where the goddamn governor fired the head coach?
Yeah, that's true too.
Like, come on.
Or the governor comes in and blocks the president. So, I mean, either one of those jobs has issues. But
yeah, I'm like, both governors went. One governor did not go to LSU. The other governor went to Florida. Do you want to deal with this? Like I said, there's almost no pressure at Ole Miss. Almost none. He's the best thing they've had in 60 years.
Yeah, and if he just wants to get paid more, just tell him, I want to get paid more. You don't need to go through the theatrics of...
I want a raise.
Yeah, tell him I want a raise. Tell him it's got to be this. Tony Lawson, Bob Swanger, who's going to be your next coach? Bob doesn't know. Guys, do we know? Who do you think the next coach is at Penn State?
I don't think it's going to be Lane Kiffin. That's for sure. Yeah, I'll give it a think on the Penn State thing, but I think Penn State's going to be someone out of left field because that seems to be their MO of their last several coaches. Lane Kiffin, I think, likes being the prettiest girl at the dance and everyone coming to talk to him, right? You might as well turn it into a soap opera with the crazy people tracking private jets and his if you're just trying to get more money or maybe investment in total out of Ole Miss, don't do the thing where you're sending your family all over the place. And to me, I think that indicates that he's taken the best offer. He's taken the biggest paycheck, and Ole Miss can either match it or not. But I don't think that it doesn't convey a lot of loyalty from Kiffin.
Yeah.
If there was ever a coach to legitimately set out the table with the hats and do it on live TV, it's Lane Kiffin, and I kind of hope he does with Feinbaum there with the mic for the live reaction, because it would be hilarious. It might be more watched than the national championship.
Only if you put a Tennessee and a USC hat on the table.
Just as the also rans at the end.
At the ones that he didn't.
Yeah,
he
does the fake take it on, take it off, throw it, and then put the real one on. It'd be so good.
Also, I'm telling you guys, for Penn State, it's going to be a current coach in the Big Ten or a coordinator from the Big Ten or NFL.
I like Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator from Buffalo.
Yeah. I've also heard a name from, I think they made a run at Elko. He just got his raise. I think it was going to be Elko. The other name I've heard is the head coach of Kansas State.
Chris Kleiman?
Yeah. Because he can recruit. Now, they're having a down year, but a lot of people are associating that with a lot of the graduates and injuries and things. But the dude's won FCS national titles. He can handle the pressure. He's won the big games, granted at the FCS level, but he's winning. For the most part, he's done really well at Kansas State on bridging Bill Snyder. They're just, I think Kansas State's just at a point where they're ready to move on. They don't want to move on from him, but
What about Matt Campbell?
Yeah, see, Matt Campbell's the only one. That's another name I've heard. But the problem with Matt Campbell, and I don't want to say he would, is because the Detroit Lions offered that dude $15 million a year, and he said no.
Yeah, but that's the Detroit Lions.
The Washington Huskies offered him $9 million a year, and he said no. I don't know if this dude would leave. I don't. He's
an odd duck, that's for sure. He gets linked to every job under the sun, and I'm not trashing him as a coach. I think he's a perfectly capable, power coach, but I don't know how he keeps getting linked to all these super high-end jobs.
No, and he has he wins
I guess. State. Is it because they finally broke the 10-win mark at Iowa State, and he's the only one to do it? Is that why?
No, because he's constantly winning 8 or 9 games. Go back and look at Iowa State's history. 6 wins is hard.
Yeah, I guess
he's got a starting quarterback in the NFL from Iowa State.
Yeah, well, he's got back-to-back wins over Iowa, so he can beat Big Ten teams.
Yeah, I think he would be great at. I think he would be great at Penn State because the guy can coach. He just can coach. Can he recruit? We don't know because he's at Iowa State.
That's the real game at Penn State is can you recruit at that top level?
I just don't know. What I do know is that it's probably not going to be Will Stein at Oregon.
Right.
I'm hearing he's in the running for the Oregon State job, and I think that's where he's going to start off as top level G6, maybe mid-level P4. But Tosh Laffoy and him are not considered front runners for an opening like a Penn State. They don't. Penn State wants people who have experience as a head coach. And guys, one. That's the big key. One.
I think the big key for Matt Campbell is, does he want to compete for a national championship?
Yeah.
And I know he loves Iowa State, and I'm not trying to say anything negative about Iowa State, but I think even Iowa State fans can admit it'd be very, 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 very difficult, if not impossible, to win a football national championship at Iowa State.
It is.
Penn State is going to have the resources.
Yeah.
David Sabinosh suggests Tony Elliott for Penn State.
I admittedly don't know hardly anything about Tony Elliott.
He's a coach at Virginia, but it did take him. I believe it's his 4th year at Virginia.
Right.
Yeah, but he took over there. There was nothing after that. That was full rebuild.
Oh, okay. I do know this guy. Yeah, he was at Clemson and then took over Virginia.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
That's what I'm saying. It's guys like that they're going to go after. That's why I mentioned
well, that's what Franklin was too. Took over Vanderbilt and turned him into something.
That's why I mentioned the guy from Kansas State. James Franklin didn't win like 8-9 games at Vanderbilt every year. He won like 7-8. But like you see it, and it's like he has the pedigree to win. He won a national title at the FCS level. I think he has like 5 or 6, which is ridiculous. So you can get a guy who can do it. And the dude could recruit at North Dakota State because at the time he had to bring in all of those dudes who were rejects from the Power 5, right? Guys who had troubles, guys who couldn't make grades, guys who just could not like get on the field for whatever reason. And he's like, let's go play at this level. And he's got 2 guys in the NFL playing quarterback. The dude can recruit. The dude can coach. Like, that's the kind of thing that they're looking for. I don't think they'll land him, but like, I'm telling you, it would not shock me if like they went after Leopold at Kansas too. You know, like they're going to find someone who can win. If you can win with less, you're going to win with a lot at Penn State.
Leopold is going to – I still have it in my mind that Leopold needs to take the Wisconsin job, even if it's next year.
I think Momo was dead on when he said
he needs to. He needs to.
He knows Wisconsin, and he can run a Wisconsin-style offense, which is what they need.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it is what it is. Daniel Gygax says, I'm not worried. West Virginia flipped to Penn State recruit.
Yeah, the one whose dad was a Mountaineer.
Yeah.
That's a legacy.
That will do it.
But I'm going to put this out here right now. I don't get as soon as I see a kid recruit commit, I don't trust it. I don't trust them anymore. They flipped 3 or 4 times now.
They're doing the top quarterback in the class of 2028 is doing his commitment like this Friday. And I'm like, who cares?
He will not be going to whatever school he picks.
Kid's like 15. I don't care. In like 2 weeks, he's gonna want to go to like
Georgia. He'll pick Georgia, and he'll end up playing at like.
He's gonna pick Georgia, flip to Oregon, flip to A&M, flip to Kansas, flip to like Washington, flip to LSU, and it's like, dude.
You guys remember watching Whose Line Is It Anyway? That's recruiting now, where the commitments are made up and nothing matters.
That's right.
No, that's like, well, I mean, like, why would you commit when you're 15 years old? Like, who cares?
If you can't legally drive a car, I really don't trust much of what you have to say.
Yeah, I'm like, you're not going to. Like, you're not going to the school you say you're going to today. I can guarantee that. $100. You're not. No one stays committed that long unless it's the actual dream school.
Yeah, if you're like a local kid and it's very obvious why you're going somewhere, sure. But
and let me just say this: Warren Moon's son plays for Washington. He was never committed to Washington right off the bat. He eventually made his way to Washington, but like he was like the Oregon State, Washington State. Like, he had a whole bunch of schools. Emmitt Smith's kid went to Stanford. He didn't even go to Florida.
Yeah.
Panel, is Michigan State going to fire their coach? Great question. I don't think so. I think they give him 1 more year.
I think if they do, I think it's a mistake because Jonathan Smith, it's been a rough year. Like, I think people had higher hopes for Aiden Childs. He's just extremely inconsistent. But Jonathan Smith is a program builder. You need to give him time, but he is very capable even at a team play. Like, he led Oregon State into be a legitimate, like, New Year's Six team. Like, that's the kind of seasons they were putting together. It took a while, but if he can do it at Oregon State, he can do it at Michigan State.
I'll just say this. I think he's doing exactly what needs to happen. I mean, he just lost 4 games from his first year there, which is hilarious to say out loud. because they got slapped with the losses handed to them by the NCAA, the vacated wins. But like, it's gonna take a moment. Aiden Childs is not healthy.
No.
His defense is the biggest issue right now. Like, they can score on anybody, and we've seen them do that. They just can't stop you from scoring, and that's the biggest problem. And I think it took him 3 years to figure out how to get Oregon State on a roll. By year 5, they were trucking.
Yeah.
Give him some time.
I could see Smith bringing in a different DC that can shore that up a little bit, possibly better recruiting along the line.
He's going to bring in some different guys. He brought some guys with him from Oregon State, and I think that was the mistake. I think he needs to bring some guys in who know a little bit more about the Big Ten, maybe a little bit better recruiting. He'll be fine. But Aiden Childs, I mean, he needs to examine whether or not Aiden Childs is the guy. He needs to look at that, and he needs to look at it subjectively and decide, is this kid the one that can get us over the hump? Because until he decides on Aiden Childs, this offense may be, just like I said, just kind of stuck in neutral because the kid still makes freshman mistakes.
I will say this. He has a very rich recruiting ground: Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Pennsylvania. A lot of those kids want to go to places like Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan. He can go and grab those 3 stars and say, hey, we know they didn't want you. What better way to show them than come to Michigan State, get a chance to play these guys, and show them what they missed out on?
The dude won 10 games with DJ Ungalaglele. I cannot say his last name. But DJU. He won like 9-10 games with DJU. Name a school they did.
Well, not Florida State.
Not Clemson. He got benched at Clemson. So, like, come on.
Yeah, I think just give him at least one more year. At least one more year. I mean, he's in year 2 now?
Yeah, it's year 2.
It's just year 2. And I mean, that's just a hair trigger to me.
It's year 2. He had the same problems that we've seen other coaches have who take over. Mass exodus. You're left with usually 50, 60 scholarship players. It just takes a little, like, and I think the Michigan State, I think the admins at Michigan State recognize that because, like, it's not easy to do it. Like,
I have a strong feeling that unlike the coach before him, Jonathan Smith's not gonna totally embarrass the institution en route to getting fired. He's a pretty stand-up guy, so at least he's got that going for him.
I mean, he's not going to sexually harass a woman who speaks about being sexually harassed, and I highly doubt he's going to pay players' families to do things.
Yeah, from everything we've heard about him, he's a stand-up guy, so that's good.
I mean, he was the offensive coordinator at Washington. He can coach quarterbacks, guys. Like,
that's why I said he needs a defensive guy that knows the Big Ten and can recruit primarily along the defensive line.
Jesus, he beat Oregon running the ball 30 consecutive times. Dude can coach. Give him the chance.
To be fair, Mel Tucker was a stand-up guy as well. Thank you. Tip your waitress.
He was also fired by the Raiders, if I'm not mistaken.
The last decent coach Maryland had was Ralph Friedgen. I remember Ralph, and he has been gone for 15 years. Yeah, big old fat Ralph Friedgen, the refrigerator. But he took him to a 10-win season. I think he won the ACC that year too.
It could have been Kansas. Kansas fired their head coach, the only one that ever won anything. Won 11-1.
Yeah.
Won a big-time bowl game. Won a near 6 bowl game.
Mark Mangino.
Yeah.
Mark Mangino. Yeah, he was another big fat one.
Yeah, but he's like, have you seen him? He got on that Ozempic.
Oh, I haven't seen him recently. I didn't even once he left Kansas, I'd never heard from him again.
Why? He never coached anywhere else. It was weird. I thought that was odd. It was like,
Yeah, I remember Ralph Friedgen. That was a terrible firing. They brought in Randy Edsel, and he set that program back 100 years.
But he did recruit Stephon Diggs. So.
Lane to Florida is my guess. My guess is if it's to whoever has the bigger bag, it's not going to be Ole Miss.
He's already getting $10 million a year from Ole Miss. So.
They're probably they're close to their limit.
Yeah. Kiffin is a freshwater guy. Joey Freshwater, absolutely.
Mississippi touches the ocean, like barely.
Hey, I was on a beach in Biloxi. You know, it's brown water, but it's,
yeah, but why? Were you there by choice?
I was in the military. I was at Keesler Air Force Base.
So you were not there by choice. That explains
No.
it.
Who would go to Biloxi?
If
Unless you're
Lane
21.
if Lane leaves Ole Miss, will lose the rest of their first game in the playoffs.
If
Depends on their opponent.
Yeah, like
They're
if
still
who's their
good.
opponent right now?
Draw.
They're
Who's
still
the opponent
good.
right now?
Like,
By the way, who would be the opponent right now?
oh gosh, I haven't
They're the
seen it.
6th seed?
I don't know with the most current rankings. I have no
I
idea.
think it'd be Miami, like or the ACC opponent. I think
Yeah,
is
it would
where
be
they're
the
at.
ACC opponent, which would be whoever ends up winning the ACC, which is still.
I mean, Ole Miss, either Ole Miss Miami or Ole Miss Georgia Tech would be a fun game.
Be fun. I mean, it's in
Lane,
Ole Miss, so you know.
Lane
80,000
is
people.
too busy chasing his fat little girlfriends. Of course, great Mike
Oh.
Leach quote.
Shout out to the Pirate. I miss Mike Leach, man. So good.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he would have something to say about the college football playoff.
One of the few Cougars I truly respected and loved as a Husky fan.
Nicest person you would ever meet if you guys got a chance to meet. If you guys had ever got a chance to meet him, nicest human being on earth. Trust me, amazingly nice.
I usually reserve this. I usually reserve this for super chats, John Dry, but in memory of Mike Leach, I'm gonna play it.
Points more compelling than their fat little girlfriends. Now, their fat little girlfriends have some obvious advantages. For one thing, their fat little girlfriends are telling them what they want to hear, which is how great you are.
There you go for the Pirate, Mike Leach.
Rest in peace to the Pirate.
Rest in peace, Pirate.
I would love to hear his take on who would win in a mascot fight in the
Oh
SEC.
gosh. The SEC, man. Okay, I don't mean to disrespect his memory, but if we could tastefully make an AI of Mike Leach comparing the SEC mascots in a fight, that'd be so good.
I can, but I can only do it for 15 seconds.
Oh, okay.
That's the problem with Sora too. But I did one with Woody Hayes. I don't know if you guys saw it. He
No,
gets
I'll
all
have
his
to go back.
goddamn. It's on. If you guys want to check it out, it's on the at the CFB Mafia Twitter account. Woody Hayes gives us a very good endorsement. Says he gets all his goddamn news and information from College Football Mafia.
Outstanding.
MBM says Texas was preseason number 1, fell out of the top 25, and made it back to number 10, only to fall to 17.
If they didn't have that Longhorn logo, they wouldn't be ranked. That's the truth.
Right. That's
I
absolutely
mean,
right.
They look at their
not
record.
wrong.
They just wouldn't. Like,
No, it's not wrong. I'm just saying, like, there's got to be a good 3-loss team, and I mean, like, it's definitely not Tennessee.
Illinois?
Definitely not.
Aren't they 3-loss? 2 or
Yeah, but they lost to Washington. Washington should be the best 3-loss team if we're just saying it's Illinois. Like, no,
Even-
I'm at this point
yeah.
where, like, I was going to say this tonight. Like, Miami's going to end up leapfrogging one of these two Big 12 schools. I hate to say it. Because at some point,
I don't
they're
think
gonna
they
get
should, though.
no, at some point they're going to get lumped in to the same. And they talked about this. They're grouping them like 1 through 4 or whatever. And they're going to get lumped in with that Notre Dame team, and they're going to leapfrog Notre Dame. That winner of Notre Dame will catapult them at some point.
The Big 12 deserves to get 2 teams in. Like
They're
they,
not going
they,
to.
They're not going to.
I know, but they should. You know what I'm saying?
I
They
agree.
won't, but they
USC
should.
can leapfrog them.
Like-
USC beats Oregon tomorrow or on Saturday. I'm telling you right now, USC is going to leapfrog both.
Beats who? Who's USC play? Oh, Oregon. Oh, okay, sorry.
They beat Oregon. If let's say they beat Oregon by like 2 or more scores, they're going to leapfrog Utah and BYU. And it's like unfortunate, but that's probably what's going to happen. I don't mean to be that person. Like, their big thing, and I think it's important that we say this too. Texas Tech, I think, could lose and still make it. But
I think they'd have to
lose.
Well, I think they'd have to win the conference.
I think it would have to.
They got to lose the championship game. That's it. They couldn't lose until then.
Well, right, and they would have to lose the championship game by a very narrow margin, and at that point you would have 2 Big 12 teams.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I'm on this position where Oregon has not beaten any of the ranked teams. They don't have a ranked win right now because every time
True.
The only one they played is number 2, so yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they lost. And they lost by 2 scores.
Right.
But, like, the fact that they're ahead of, like, even Miami or Notre Dame is purely on eyeballs.
If
Has to
Oregon,
be.
the thing
The
is,
resume is not equal to anybody else's. I don't even know where to begin with it. Like,
if
I'm
Oregon
starting to
loses
go with
this
10,
week,
not 8.
if Oregon loses this week and it's not some kind of lopsided game, I think they could still make it in with the 2 loss.
They would.
It seems weird, but yeah, they might need some help if they.
The committee has already said if you lose, you fall.
Right.
And it does not matter by how much, because Texas lost by 3 scores, fell all the way down to 17 from 10.
But then they beat
Alabama,
Oklahoma, so like.
But Alabama lost by 2 points or whatever it was on a missed field goal and fell 6 spots. So if you lose, you fall. Like, there are no ifs, ands, or buts. They set this precedent. They're telling teams you cannot lose now. You have to win. That's why I said I think Moen's right on this. I think Texas Tech still gets in, but they have to lose. If they lost, the only way they get in with a loss is if they lost that Big 12 title game.
Right.
And it's close.
It's got to be close. It cannot be a blowout.
But I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think
I don't think that's going to
they're
happen.
blowing
I think Texas
everybody out.
Tech is going
Yeah. I was so impressed by what they did to BYU.
And this is the thing, like, when people talk about them, like BYU and Utah are on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
They got smoked by the number 5 team in the country.
Yeah.
Why would I put them in the top 10? They can't beat the top 5 teams on paper.
They got their asses handed to them.
Yeah, like, let's just be honest. Like, what was it, 34-10 against Utah, and then, like, what was it, 26-7 against BYU? Like, I cannot justify them being in the playoff.
Well, that's okay. Here we go. How many teams for each conference how many teams does each conference get into the playoffs?
Big Ten will get 3.
Okay.
I think the SEC does get 5. Just
Blech.
It's set up that way, and I think, like, with Vanderbilt looming out there, could be 6. ACC is going to get 1.
Dang.
Big 12 is going to get 1, and the G6 clearly gets theirs. And I'm saying this now. I think the G6 team will be JMU.
I agree with you.
I think Tulane's going to lose.
The only difference I would make in there is I don't think the SEC gets number 6 because I think that slot goes to Notre Dame. I see 3 Big Ten, 5 SEC.
Yeah, that's who would bump that team.
Big
12, G6, which would be JMU, would be representing the G6.
Yeah. So, yeah.
What about you, Pickles?
Yeah, 4-3. I forgot about Notre Dame. So.
Yeah, I'm generally in agreement. The only exchange it really doesn't pencil out well for the ACC or Big 12 to get an extra team in. I just don't see it. Notre Dame would have to just, like, tank their last games, because do they still have their USC game? Have they already played? It's the last one. Okay.
Here's the big issue. The Big Ten and the SEC, look what they did, guys.
The Big Ten,
they moved up November.
I just have a feeling the Big Ten would get the 4th team because it'd be like a USC or Michigan winning out. Sorry, Moen, you hate to hear that, but something like that could happen.
Well, let me say this: like, let's say Michigan does beat Ohio State. How far would they move up?
Quite a bit.
And then are they off this week?
Michigan? No, they play Maryland this week.
So they're going to beat Maryland.
So they'd be a 2-loss team.
Ohio State at home. At home, they're not the same team as on the road.
I know, and I'm going to tell you this right now. Michigan has been playing a very dangerous game on the road. They have not covered their last 3 road games, and they came damn close to losing to Purdue.
Right.
They should have lost to Purdue, and they should have lost.
So I would not. Yeah, I would not be looking past Maryland if I'm Michigan. No. Especially with just
replace it instead. If you say Michigan, like, they're gonna take another loss between now and then, or they lose to Ohio State, then say USC beats an Oregon, which would certainly bump them up, and is able to beat UCLA. Like, that puts them firmly in that discussion too. But it is tough to see the fourth. Like, 3, I think, is a lock for the Big Ten. I keep trying to pencil out how a fourth team would get in. I think it would be more so that team number 5 in the SEC would have to stumble and stumble badly.
But see, I think in that case, you're going to get a Big 12 team in. You're going to get your second Big 12. They're going to give it to BYU over Utah.
Well, unless the championship game is just as lopsided.
Because, I mean, like, the problem that we have right now is Texas Tech or Texas A&M is undefeated.
Right.
Georgia has 1 loss. Oklahoma has 2 losses.
I want Georgia Tech to be Georgia so bad.
Alabama
I want it.
Losses. Like, everything is setting up for if and I say this because if A&M beats Texas next week, they're not leaving the top 12. We'll be honest. They'll get in with 1 loss. As long as they don't, they can get in with 2 losses. I don't think they miss out. I don't think they miss out if they lost the SEC title game. Like, they're set in that spot where we don't see the top 4 teams rarely fall too far. Alabama fell 6 spots, and they lost by 2 points to a team in the top 10. So, like, how much weight are they giving a Texas team? But yeah, they're 17, but Mo, you have to admit that they've been coasting on that loss to Ohio State all year, right? Like, Ohio State's not getting the same credit that Texas is getting for losing, which is wild to me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but it was game 1. Week 1. I mean, remember week 1, Florida State blew out Alabama.
Remember when Paul Feinbaum said Arch Manning was going to win the Heisman? Wasn't that a fun time?
Yeah. So I try and give a little more relaxed take on week 1.
Pepperidge Farm remembers when Arch Manning was going to win the Heisman.
But listen, I'll be honest with you. I think if it comes down to it, and Indiana and Ohio State are 1 and 2, and they play each other in the Big Ten championship game, and it's close, I think they may still stay at 1 and 2.
Yeah, I don't think so. Only because they're going to be so inclined to make the SEC champion too.
The problem with that is my only problem with that is the SEC champion's going to be there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say the SEC champion is Georgia, who beats Texas A&M.
Yeah.
So 1 loss Georgia.
And then we have a 1-loss Texas Tech, who's blowing out everybody. So they blow BYU out again in Texas on a neutral field in Arlington. What then? Like,
they'd be 4.
Texas, they'd be 4.
They'd be 4.
They'd have to be 4. So, like, Indiana and A&M create the logjam because Ole Miss might not even play in the SEC title game.
I don't think they will.
I think they're mathematically eliminated unless Georgia loses. Because, see, here's the big key. Georgia's playing Georgia Tech next week.
Well, because the SEC championship, if everything holds out, is Georgia A&M, right?
Georgia Tech is playing Georgia next week. That doesn't count, right? It does not count. But who benefits the most from winning that game? Georgia Tech. And I think that game's at Georgia Tech. Like, Georgia Tech wins that game, they're going to leapfrog everybody.
I mean, that would be the only scenario the ACC could get 2 in. Yeah, for the ACC to get 2, it'd have to be Miami and Georgia Tech. Miami wins the conference, but Georgia Tech beats Georgia. That's the only way I could see it happening.
But it could happen.
It could, but it's just that's you're hoping and praying is the ACC.
But I'm saying, like, everything is starting to point to me that Texas Tech, I think they get in regardless of how they do. They just can't lose their one of these last games. Like, they're off this week, but they can't lose their last game of the year, and they cannot. But they can lose that Big 12 title game. They just cannot get blown out in that thing. It has to be close.
Even if they lose by 10, like it'll be fine.
It's gonna be tough to figure out, guys. We're not gonna know until the last week, but
we're getting close though.
Getting close. We're gonna wrap it up here on the take. I think this was a great show. A lot of great discussion. Sorry we didn't get to more comments, but MBM wants to let everybody know that Arkansas is going to beat Texas. So based off the fact A&M squeaked by Arky. And then CAC says JMU is slated to be invited to the ACC with this next college football realignment. I think Virginia Tech and Virginia might have something to say about that.
Yeah, big time. Let me also say this: that stadium has got to get bigger. It's smaller than Wake Forest's.
Absolutely.
But that's saying something. Wake Forest is tiny.
As started by the founder of the Big West Mafia into the Big Ten Mafia into the take, Sergeant Pickles, what's your one for the road?
Man, I don't have a good one this week. So weather safety out there. We had our first frost, and I almost completely broke my ass walking out of my house this morning. So buy your rock salt and winter items. Keep yourself safe for power outages, etc., etc. I'm much more aware of it living in the woods now because I could be without power for like a whole week. So stay safe out there, stay warm, and enjoy some football.
All right. Becky, what's your one for the road?
Yeah, I think it's important that if you see something on the internet about a coach or what have you, double check that source. There are suddenly, and I don't know why this is a thing like in the last month, but like suddenly there are a bunch of dudes saying they're quote unquote credentialed reporters. I don't know why that's the key, but they say they're credentialed reporters and they're reporting off the wall crap. Like, think, the Sentinel the Sentinel accounts, which my favorite from the college football Sentinel was that UTEP was collecting money from the cartel, and somebody had a photo of a bunch of money in a bag, and that's how they were collecting their money.
I mean, the fact that we genuinely considered if that was real says a lot about NIL, doesn't it?
And I'm just like, people are buying this stuff. Just like, look at the source who's saying it, because some of these people are literally trolling you right now. They're rage baiting and trolling. I don't usually put out much just because I don't want to deal with that. Like, whatever. I did it one time and then I ended up nailing it. People were like, and I was like, yeah, see, I kind of told you guys UNLV was not going to the Pac-12, but hey, which, like I said, that's where it's all coming from now. Like, just follow the people that are doing things. And if you're interested in certain coaching searches, find the local reporter. Like John Canzano in Oregon, he's very big on that. He's tuned in on that Oregon State search. Guys like John Wilner putting opinion pieces out there. Remember, those are opinion pieces. Also, last thing, for the road, the AP poll, the reason why it's meaningless now are because of reporters like John Wilner who do not put extra effort into making sure that they fill it out properly. You've got reporters sending that thing in before the last game is even played, which caught one reporter, national reporter from On3, in a very serious pickle because people called him out. Like, literally a top 10 team was playing and losing, and he had already submitted his ballot. That's why it's meaningless.
Lovely.
And my one for the road, let's watch it. Let's watch Coach Pays.
I get all my goddamn college football news and opinions from the College Football Mafia on YouTube. No fluff, no nonsense, just the game, the grit, and the truth. Hit that subscribe button and let's talk football. I get all my goddamn college football news.
Is this before or after he hit a player? I gotta ask.
Well, I don't know. He's pretty hyped there. By the way, just so YouTube knows, I clearly marked this. This is parody or necromancy. You decide. This is an AI video generated with Sora. That's why it says Sora on it. It's not real, guys. Woody Hayes is not back. Woody Hayes.
I thought you were Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah. The artist formerly known as Woody Hayes.
The artist so not real at all, completely fabricated. Don't get confused. I know a lot of you out there might be going, oh wow, I can't believe Woody Hayes would do that, but just completely fabricated. So I want to thank Becky and Pickles for another great show, and we will catch you guys next Wednesday on the take. just as a reminder, I will be over on CFB Express tomorrow night with Flo and Rock and Rant talking wide receivers in college football and who the true wide receiver you is. And we will have a members only Mowing Confidential coming up where we're talking about USC and the altered deal.
Bowen, when you go into that, you need to pull up the wide receiving core from the 2023 Washington Husky roster.
Consistency is key. I've done my research, Becky. Trust me. So it should be fun. So we'll see you guys next Wednesday, and everybody have a good evening and take care. Bye-bye.